Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do interviews with people like Laura on topics that help our listeners, that's you, find the resources, tools, and support that they need to be their best inspired self. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you?
Other than being freaking cold, I'm great.
It's cold.
It is cold. It's -1, I think. Although I see the sun now coming through, so maybe it's 1 or 2 degrees now. That would be good.
The sun is helpful.
Yeah, the sun helps. Although it's so bright though, because there's a lot of snow right now.
Yeah.
It does that blind you and you're scared to drive through the corner kind of thing. But enough about my cold. How are you?
I'm doing really great.
That's awesome.
Really
So
good.
I'm so pleased that you made time in your very busy schedule to meet with us and do this interview. It's definitely a blessing for me. So I would love to kind of get right in. And can you tell the listeners just a little bit about you and what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. My name is Laura Rees, and I write at my website, which is mantrasandmocktails.com. And I write on topics like meditation, mindset, sobriety, and community. Also, that people can kind of embrace the lives they have right now and expand those out from there. So I've been writing there for about 2 years.
2 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love all your topics. Those are like how I'm trying to show up and live my life.
It's definitely I chose those topics in a really specific way because those are the things. So meditation, mindset, sobriety, those are the things that have helped me embrace my life and then expand it from there. So it's all a pretty logical progression of things.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Well, then let's start with the one you started with. So with mindset, what are some of like the really important topics around mindset that can kind of help our listeners if they're maybe feeling stuck right now?
Yeah, I think that when you're thinking about mindset, it's about embracing what you have right now. So not getting caught up in, oh, my circumstances are like this, or I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. And I'll actually give you a really concrete example from my own life, which is drinking. So I was a person that probably always kind of drank too much, but in about 2016, I had a set of circumstances in my life that was just had to do with work and a job I wasn't doing well in. And there was a lot of stress associated. And so that started feeding into me drinking more and more and more until it started to become a real problem for me. But because, anyone that drinks too much never wants to admit it. You never want to stop because that's your coping mechanism. I was stressed out, I was angry, and that was kind of my reward at the end of a long day. So when I first decided that it was a long journey to come to a place where I decided that I did need to stop drinking. From there, then it became kind of hard for me to do that because it was something I didn't want to give up. So for me, a huge mindset shift that made all the difference was shifting my mind from drinking is a thing that I have to give up to drinking is a thing that I don't need to do, to like I'm missing out if I don't drink. To like, I'm missing out when I drink. So just kind of flipping that script. And it's not something that happens overnight. I mean, I wish it was as easy as being like, all you have to do is tell yourself a new mindset and everything's going to be great. So it was kind of a long, maybe like a 6 to 7 month process for me to really start believing those new mindset thoughts. But once I did, it became a really simple thing for me to be like, I don't need to drink anymore. And, I was also in this place where I didn't feel like I was an alcoholic. I didn't really identify with that as a label. So that was kind of another burden that I had to get through. Like, am I an alcoholic or am I not an alcoholic? And shifting this mindset to be like, you don't have to be an alcoholic to quit drinking. You don't have to hit rock bottom. You don't have to get a DUI or whatever might happen to you. It doesn't have to get that bad before you can change your mind about something. So that was a huge thing for me that has made such a big difference in my life was finding sobriety because of this mindset shift that I had made.
I I love that so much. Just in terms of sobriety in general, it's touchy. I live in Wisconsin, so I
Yes.
don't know if we're allowed to say that word here. It might actually put me in jail
I
or
think
something.
that
Um,
Wisconsin has a lot of
I'm not.
drinking
It's
options.
probably not supposed to be funny, but um,
Yeah.
but my mom is an my dad passed away earlier this year, and
Oh, I'm
he
sorry to
passed
hear
away
that.
as thank you earlier last year. Actually, it's been a year now, but he died an addict, and I wouldn't say alcoholic, right? That whole weird thing. He
Mhm.
probably drank more than he wanted to, or more than he chose to. But I remember talking to my mom. My mom is now not drinking, and my mom is not doing any other drugs. But she's still smoking, and she has only about 6 months to live. She's got emphysema and all these things wrong,
Oh my.
and I remember having this really weird conversation with her about drinking and growing up with that kind of scenario. And she told me she literally felt like quitting drinking for her was harder than giving up doing crack. She said it was
Really?
just
Well, it's so
because
normal in society, you know?
it was
Crack's
yeah,
something that you have to hide, but
you have to
alcohol
hide.
isn't.
Yeah, exactly. She said, all my friends do it. And,
Yeah.
when I don't feel good, I do it. When I do feel good, I do it. It's so much around social situations.
Yeah.
We live in
And it's very
Wisconsin.
accessible.
Like, you're weird if you don't drink. And like, there's all
Right?
these stigmas attached to it,
Yeah.
but you don't have to start or stop doing something because you've done too much of it or not either. Right.
Hmm.
And then her second comment was she could quit doing crack and she could quit drinking, but she still can't stop smoking. And so I think we forget that it's so much more complex than
Yes.
just, oh, yeah, like you said, 6 months of every day reframing everything you were saying to yourself.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have to be an alcoholic to have that much, like that difficult of a need to make a shift.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I always find so interesting about quitting smoking or quitting drinking. Like, it's easy. When you think about it, all you have to do is not do that thing, right? I mean, like, on paper, it sounds so simple
it's
and it's
simple. It's just
easier.
not easy.
Right.
It's simple.
So just that and then I think that you get caught up in that. Like, why can't I just not do this? All I have to do is not go buy a bottle of wine or not stop and get a pack of cigarettes. And so then I think that's another mindset that is valuable for us to A, be aware of, and B, try to let go of. It's just beating yourself up for doing something that, as you say, it's easy but not simple, or simple but not easy. So I think that's
Yeah.
the big one.
So how did meditation play a role then in kind of this journey for you?
Yeah. Well, meditation was kind of helped with the mindset. So I started with like this anger problem. And that was one of the things that was exacerbating my drinking. So I was mad all the time. And it finally felt like this is a real problem. I was just getting someone would do something so small and I would just get so mad. And I just knew I wasn't being my real self. I would snap at people and I would stew on things. So I started searching for a cure to anger. I mean, you can laugh at that because it's super naive, but I was like, I'm gonna find something to cure myself of this anger, and I'll never be angry again. And so the more that I researched, just that kind of thing, the more it kept pointing me towards meditation. And I kept thinking, oh, that's for other people. That's for
That's
people
so
that
woo woo, right? That's
right.
we're
That's for
from the
people that have
Midwest.
calm minds.
We're in the Midwest. We don't do that woo.
Right. Those are people with no kids. So I finally, though, was like, okay, fine. Everyone says meditation. I'll do this meditation thing. And I sat down for 30 days and like 10 minutes a day. And about the time that I thought this is stupid and it's not working, because I'm still getting mad all the time, what I started to realize was that even though I was getting mad, I was starting to realize that I was mad. And so instead of like stewing on it, or instead of just reacting in anger, I was able to just be like, okay, stop talking, you're mad. Or just be like, okay, I understand, like just this self-talk. I understand that you're angry, but let's let it go because this isn't helping things. And so I credit meditation with really helping me on that first it was anger and this self-awareness. And I think that's what led me to say, hey, and by the way, you drink too much. So maybe we ought to check on that next.
Well, yeah, I think that's, I didn't have the sobriety journey, but I actually did quit drinking. I don't know, it's not a date for me, right? It was like not an anniversary. It was like 3 years ago, I think, or longer, because I take a medication that it does not play well. Does not play well. And I was just surprised that, like, I'm 43 years old, and the amount of pressure from peers, like, well, why'd you quit? Did you decide you were drunk or something? Like, it's just mean spirited stuff. Or, why'd you quit? Were you, this thing, that, or the other thing. And yeah, I quit because of the medication thing, but I didn't really think it was a big deal. Like, just like, so what? I'm like gonna have a soda, or like, why are we having this problem? So I actually started walking and then doing walking meditation.
Yeah.
As related to that, but just to kind of like go, like, I felt really attacked for just like making a positive body choice. Like,
I think that is so typical of a lot of people that decide to quit drinking, and I think that's where community can come into it. So
which is the last point of yours.
Can you surround yourself with people for whom this type of behavior is normal? So that is one of the things I've been working on this year, is building a sober community here in Columbus, so that people feel like they have a place where they don't have to feel like they have to explain why they're not drinking. Like, oh, are you pregnant? No, I'm too old for that.
Right? I'm like, no, my egg's crusty now. I'm not doing that. Or 4 kids. I handled my business. I'm good.
Right. So yeah, just like you're saying, like, and I think that when you have a problem that you're trying to let go of, or, I mean, in your case, that wasn't even the case, but like for
they
me,
gave me a problem. Like,
you feel sensitive about it. Yeah, I just want to be like, well, I'm not an alcoholic, but I just decided to stop drinking. Like, I always felt like I had to over-explain it for the longest time.
I know.
So I think it really helps to build up a community around yourself, the people that can support you and just kind of understand where you're coming from.
So what's a sober community? Like, what does that mean, or what does that look like?
Well, for me, it has looked like literally going to meetup.com and just searching for sober. And so there was a group of women, and we get together every couple of weeks and just have coffee.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And it doesn't necessarily, I mean, we don't just talk about being sober. We just like talk about our lives. And then I also, with a friend, started a sober pop-up bar. So we just had our first event last, like 2 weeks ago, Saturday.
Was it awesome?
And yeah, so that was fun. And for the first one, we just were like, okay, everybody pitch in $10 and we'll buy a whole bunch of sparkling water and we'll just hang out. And so I think for the next month, we'll do like actual crafted mocktails. But again, it's just a place that people are invited to come, where you don't have to feel like you have to drink, and you don't have to be sober forever, but you just have to be sober when you're there. Maybe it's somebody that just has something to do early in the morning, but they still want to go out on a Saturday night. Yeah. So to me, it's just about convening people. And
I like that. I think it's beautiful. My brain was thinking, so now I'm glad you told me. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's like a non-bar bar, like a place where you can go and just, because I would not want to be dating right now. Like, I've been with my husband 20 years, thank heaven, because where do you go? Like,
agree.
Drink, double, where do you go? Like,
yeah,
you're not meeting anyone in church. No one goes to church anymore either. So like, how do you, or if you do, they're 108, right? Like, I'm not trying to date grandpa. So I like, how do you even like do that? I thought, well, I could see it'd be nice to have kind of a sober community center, or like a meetup with a bunch of people are like, let's meet, but we're not going to drink here, and that's it. Like, we don't even have to talk. We're not talking about not drinking. We're just choosing that's like don't do it here, and that's it. And now we'll talk about whatever.
Right.
So that would be cool. Like in Wisconsin, we could repurpose like 4 bars in every corner and still have like 8 left.
See, There'd be enough for everyone.
Enough for everyone. Okay, that was not fair. 2 bars. Not fair. Well, that's super neat. So you've done mindset, meditation, sobriety, community. Well, that's a lot. So what's up with the name, Mantras and Mocktails? I think I get it now, literally, but
Yeah.
I was thinking mantra sand mocktail. I wasn't I totally messed up.
Oh, right. You were completing those together. Yeah, it just about, so mantras is like these little affirmations we can say to ourselves to help shift our mindset. And then mocktails, things that you can obviously drink other than alcohol. I mean, those were the 2 big things for me when I decided to quit drinking, were just like, what can I say to myself every day to make sure that I am committed to this and I'm remembering why I'm doing this in the first place? And then also, can I have a drink in my hand? Because that was always who I was, like having a craft beer or whatever. Like, can I just drink a million sparkling waters, whatever? I felt like I needed to at first just have that thing in my hand. And so that's where the mocktails came in.
That makes sense, because when I quit smoking for the 827th time, I'm a good quitter. I'm a stick to it, or maybe not so much, but it was like 7 years ago was the last time I smoked, which is a date for me because it was really, really hard.
It's hard.
And I quit before every kid, and then I started right away because I had a kid, and holy crap, that was stressful.
Yeah.
But I remember at the beginning, the biggest thing was for me was I had always had something in my mouth right before. And so I chewed the gum for a lot longer than probably is okay to chew, but it was so much more about like always having something in your hand, always have something in your mouth. And so it was kind of like my prosthetic piece of something. I had to have something like a mocktail. So it was like but they don't have candy cigarettes anymore. So
yeah, I mean, and I think that there's so many levels of behavior change. We did find candy cigarettes recently in a store, and we were just like, I can't believe our parents gave us these.
I know. Think about that. Yeah, I can't believe they even have them with all the whoopla over the jewel and all of that stuff. Oh my.
It's crazy. But yeah, so I mean, there's so many layers of change, and some of it's just so tactical like that. Like, what can I be doing with my hands instead of smoking? What can I be drinking instead of alcohol? And so I think, that is definitely a layer that we have to address as well as the mindset.
So is there anything else you can drink that's not like other than Shirley Temple? Because I think that's the only thing I know. Or, you can have like virgin daiquiris too, right? Like
there's a lot of it. Yeah, and I would see that more and more bars are actually making like craft mocktails. And there's some spirits that you can get now, which I've only tried 1 or 2 of them, but one of the ones that I've tried is called Seedlip, and it's like a distilled spirit, but it's not alcoholic. So I've been having that with ginger beer. So there's some. There's some
good
things,
though, right?
What was that?
That's good. So, I mean, ultimately you just want to enjoy a drink. You want to enjoy a drink that doesn't hit back.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fun. So, so you have a special surprise for our listeners. You're our first surprise giving person.
Oh, fantastic.
Almost 50 episodes. So
I have a meditation 101 course. And so if you have been thinking about meditating, but you don't really know where to start, and you also want something that I would say that my course is really practical. So it's not about like, you're going to have to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and sit in the same place. Like, that'd be awesome if you can do that, but that doesn't work in my real life. And I don't know about other people. So it's a really, it's a course to teach you how to meditate in a practical way. So it's Meditation 101 for moms specifically. And I am giving you guys a code. So if you want $5 off of that, then you can, I know you're going to link this right in your show notes.
Yeah, it will be in the show notes. I'm super excited. Yeah. And I'm going to be a big ask. So I have a mom group program starting very soon, a group coaching program. I would love to pass along the same discount to them if you'd be willing.
Go for it.
Oh, that would be exciting because it's for moms, career-driven moms. So moms with kiddos and probably cocktails. That's moms with kiddos and cocktails. That kind of does go together, doesn't it? Mocktails. Moms and mocktails. There you go. I love it.
Moms and mocktails. There you go.
That's
moms, mantras, and mocktails. We'll do all of that stuff.
Well,
perfect.
So
and
much.
then if anybody, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was
Anybody.
just gonna say, if you are interested in getting my weekly, I write an essay every week that is, and sometimes I post it on the blog I'm being vigilant, but I always to my email list send every week an essay just about some kind of mindset topic. So you
I
can
love
sign up for
that. So
that at my site as well.
let's make sure we get the like subscription link or like a way for them to reach out,
Absolutely.
because I don't know who wouldn't need mindset tips. I call it marinating in mindset, because if you're around a whole bunch of people that are like cranky town, like you kind of get cranky town even if you were in a good mood. But if you're always thinking or reading or thinking or hearing or being around positive thoughts, it's harder to get cranky. Because
There is a thing, and this is legitimate, as I just was reading about. It's so funny you bring it up. It's called emotional contagion, and
oh, neat.
you transmit emotions from person to person. So if you surround yourself with happier people, you're happier, and if you surround yourself with sadder people, you're actually sadder. So
That makes total sense, right? Because in a sad way, where you'll see if someone will, take their own life,
yeah,
tends to have like a whole bunch of people related in that like same school or that same
exactly what it is.
community. And it's like, oh, why? Oh my gosh. But it's not just that they're sad because of the thing. It's like everyone kind of caught the sad bug, which is so sad.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
no,
think of
it's
happy things
real.
now. Happy, no, like, all right, I'm done with that. I get all upset about that stuff.
You can transmit happiness too. So we'll end on that.
That's the best, right? The best. Oh, though you're right about the mad. I rarely am mad, but I do have minor road rage. It's only at stupid people though, but there happens to seems like there are a lot of them. So,
The world is lousy with those, Jackie.
but we're not going to talk about that now.
No.
So you also have an Instagram account at
Yes.
Mantras and Mocktails, same website. So I'm super excited, and I'm really, really thankful that you took time to talk to us today. And congratulations on all of the change that you've made. You
Thank you
look
so much.
happy, so clearly it works for you.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. It was really fun to talk.
You too. See you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.